Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Hope everybody's doing well. That's fun. There's 3 people sitting here waiting for me to do this tutorial. I'm Susie Quillen with Perfectly Knotty here in Arlington, Washington, and I really thank you for watching these tutorials with me. This is my first experiment doing a live YouTube tutorial. So be patient with me if I don't do this exactly right. It's not the same as when I record a tutorial and then I get to edit it and make it all pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you this clever little double thickness pot holder stitch that I learned a while back, and I think it would be really something you're going to get a lot out of. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you how this works. All right, here we go. Turning the camera around. Let's see if we can angle this back a little bit better so you can see my stitches better. Oh my goodness. My tripod was really hanging on tight there. Here we go. Let's see if I got that far enough over for you. I hope I do. I don't know if I'll be able to see your comments or anything, so we're going to give this a try though. Okay, so we're going to do the small version of this today. This is just 10 stitches wide. This is the foundation single crochet. If you haven't learned how to do that, pop over to my website, perfectlyknotty.com, and go into the learning zone and look for foundation single crochet. This is a game changer stitch for you. All right, so I've got 10 foundation single crochets. If you're making a pot holder, you're obviously going to want this much larger. I'm going to chain 1, but I'm not, normally we would turn our work and go back the other way, but this time we're not going to actually turn our work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the back loop of the very first single crochet that's right here, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom. And I'm going to grab the chain at the base. So I've inserted my hook into the back loop at the top of the stitch and into the base. And then I'm going to pull up the loop to make my single crochet, but I'm going to pull it up a little bit loose and then finish my single crochet. So let's do that again. So here is my next stitch. Let's see if I can get this right so the camera will focus for you. I'm going to go into the, hello, welcome. No, I'm not buying donuts, but thank you. Sorry, guys. Had a little visitor pop in. That's the hazard of doing a live video inside the store. Okay, so here's the next stitch that we're going to go into. And I'm going to insert my hook into this back loop right here, and then I'm going to go find the base of that stitch right here. Get under all the strands, oh my goodness. Okay. And then I'm going to pull up. So I have my 2 loops on my hook, but I'm going to pull it up a little bit loose and then finish that. We'll do all 10 of these stitches and turn around and go back the other way. So here's the next stitch. I'm going to go into that one, go down to the base right here, and grab that one. Now you don't want to pull this tight. You really don't. You're really only getting about, your row height is really only going to be about half of a single crochet, really. Okay, so here's that next stitch right there. Boy, the autofocus is doing funky things, isn't it? So instead of going this and finishing that, remember we're gonna go all the way down and into that base, down there at the bottom. Pull that up loose and finish our single crochet. There's the next stitch. And we're going to go into the base down here at the bottom. I'm going to pull that up nice and loose so you can kind of see how that's starting to look. Finish that. There's our next stitch right there. I'm going to go into that loop, go straight down. I do like the foundation single crochet. You guys know that I really like foundation single crochet for most everything anyway. But I really like this because it gives a nice easy place to grab those stitches from. There's our next one, and it's space over there at the bottom. I am using a little bit bigger hook than I typically would use with, this is just regular old cheap old kitchen cotton because it's great for pot holders, but typically I would use a hook. This is an I, and typically I would use an H at least for a pot holder because I like a pot holder that's really tight and dense. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted it a little bit looser so maybe you could see the stitches a little bit better. Okay, so there's our next one. We're going to go there, straight down to its little counterpart down at the bottom. Finish that single crochet. The next one. Can you see that okay? I hope you can. This is one of those stitches that's actually pretty simple, and that can kind of trick us sometimes. There's the last stitch right here, and grab the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to finish that, and I'm going to show you from the side what this kind of looks like. I don't know how much of this you can really see, but along the bottom you have basically a double thickness here. Okay, so I'm going to chain one, and now here's that first stitch right here. Okay, now this one, you're going to reach down into down here, all the way down to this ridge that's happening down here. And I'm going to pull that up through both loops and finish that. And I'm going to go into this one and down into the bit all the way down to the bottom. And this makes a really nice double thickness pot holder. It's textury. I bet this would be really good for bottoms of slippers. That would make a nice thick slipper bottom. It does take a little concentration to keep track of where you are on this. So you can see, let me pull this out. So you can see that I'm going in. There's the traditional top of my single crochets here, and this over here is the top of the previous row, and we're pulling them together. It's kind of interesting the way this works. It's building these layers upon layers, but they overlap with each other. And it's important here to not let your tension get too tight. Almost done. I got two more. And one more, I think. Let me count these, see where I am here. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, one more. See at the end, you can kind of see it gets a little scrunchy there at the end, doesn't it? So there we go. But this is really a nice stitch, and it's thick. You can actually see how thick of a fabric this actually makes. It's really dense, and when you use the bigger hook, it's really soft and squishy, and it's going to make a really dense fabric. Should we do one more row? We'll do one more row. So I'm going to go into that first stitch right here, and then I'm going to go down to this row that I just was in and grab that. Excuse my stuffy nose. I got a really intense cold over the weekend, and I'm still kind of on the mend from that. Is everybody else managing to stay healthy over the winter? I hope so. When you're too sick to even crochet, that is just no fun at all. So I'm going into that top stitch right there and in to the top of the row below it. And because you're going into the back loop, it leaves these front loops open to connect with the top of the row you're building. So we're going to go into our stitch and into the row below it and grab them together. Make sure you're nice and loose, not too loose, of course. So we're going to get this down here like that. And there's that last stitch right there in the top of the row below it. All right, guys. That's our little potholder stitch for today. I'll be back next week with another tutorial on something else I'd love to see in the comments if there's something in particular you'd like me to show. But this is a nice thick squishy potholder stitch. I think I'm going to go make one of these for my brother. So take a minute, pop over to Facebook and find us there, facebook.com/Perfectly Knotty. You can also from there join our Facebook private group where we have a lot more conversation going. And you can also find me on Instagram. So don't forget to like this. Don't forget to share it with your friends. You can pop over to my website and sign up for my newsletter if you like. I hope this was helpful for you. And if there's something else that you'd like me to show, I'd be glad to try and do it. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to turn off this live stream because I'm not sure that I do know how to turn it off. Let's see, I think I click this X up here. We'll find out. Thank you so much. Have a happy